Welcome into the live stream. Make sure your mic's on. It's not.
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
It's probably a smart thing to do moving forward.
Yeah.
It's probably advised. Welcome into the live stream. It is a Make It Rain Thursday. McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. We're going to get started. Got a special guest for you here in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll get them fired up today.
Yeah. So I'll give people just a minute to get in.
Yeah. Did you have a good day?
Yeah, I've had a good day. Been a busy day.
Yeah. Our special guest will probably like your shirt.
I know. I thought about that a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a game day.
It's game day.
Game day for my Bengals.
Yeah. So you like them to cover, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
We'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah. Right. Trying to decide. I'll admit, and I know everybody makes fun of this, I like pro football jerseys. The Bengals white jersey.
Oh, it's going to be what are the Dolphins wearing, you know?
I don't know. I would assume the aqua top.
What if we go aqua plus the
with the white
Bengals?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I've got the white alternate jersey that they're wearing tonight.
Okay. Are you wearing it during the game?
I don't know. I might.
Let's do it.
Logan Wilson, I got 55.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so we're gonna get rolling.
I got this pullover from a friend of mine. So.
Oh yeah.
Go Dogs.
Yeah. I didn't realize that's who that was.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was a Samford shirt.
No, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
I got it last
UGA.
year.
How about that?
We went to the Arkansas Georgia game last year, so I had to rock it.
Okay. All right, we'll get rolling. Let me set up this file here, and we'll get started on another edition. Yep, absolutely. Hang tight.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. It makes me laugh every single time. Appreciate everybody being with us. Got a special guest coming your way in a minute. He made some waves in the state of Alabama yesterday, taking some heat today, so he's going to be on our show.
Yeah, that was we'll bring you in here in a minute. So AJ McCarron, who I love to death. I've known him since he was like 13, I think. I was trying to think of how long we've known each other. I think since he was 13. I think I was 24 when I took that job. But anyway, long story short is we know each other. So I get home last night on my feed. You know, I just get home and I see like everybody's just killing him on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I text him. I'm like, hey, what'd you do? And he's not wrong, but you know, what killed me is, we'll talk about it, but the Auburn fans were like, they were so mad at their own team for winning because they wanted to fire Harsin. Yeah. And AJ says one thing, like, oh, you can't talk about our team like that. So he's going to come on here and set the record straight, I think. So I'm excited.
All right, we're going to get to AJ in a minute. First, I want to remind you, this show brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. We're both knocking out our favorite.
Hands down.
The Rain Inferno Red Dragon. Fantastic.
By the way, my man Bob's in Cancun right now. So I said, rough life, somebody's got to do it. So he's in Cancun, but Bob, without question, the best Rain product on the market, the best tasting. I love this stuff.
Yeah, this is good. This is my favorite.
I could roll. It's like
it's fruit punch.
It's fruit punch, but it's like the more I drink it, it's like you said, it's Hawaiian punch. It's Kool-Aid-y. Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so we're gonna get to him. Got to dial him up on the little hotline here, the Rafters Music and Food Hotline.
I think I need to double check and make sure he knows we're live. When he answers, I'll just make sure he knows he's live again.
That's fine.
We got to so we don't. Y'all think I'm bad.
Well, I heard him in the background, so I know. All right, got to dial him up. It's a little rudimentary. In an ideal world, we'll have a producer one day, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, this will be fun. He can't tell any stories about me, though.
Well, maybe good.
No. AJ.
What's up?
Hey, I just want to remind you that you're live, and we haven't hit that 5-minute buffer yet. So make sure.
Yeah, we're not 5 minutes in, AJ. So be aware.
So,
how you doing?
I'm good.
Former Alabama quarterback AJ McCarron. I know you played in Cincinnati for a while. Houston.
Played Houston, the Raiders, Bills, Atlanta.
How long were you in the league, AJ?
I've been in 8 years.
Do you consider yourself retired yet? Or are you thinking about I know you had a knee injury? Are you thinking about getting back into it after you heal up? Or?
Yeah, I want to play a couple more years. I've had a couple workouts, but they've gone with some practice squad guys. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give it try to get a couple more years in, get to 10. 10 was always my goal, and then it's coaching and being a full-time dad from then on out.
Are you going to be as hard on your quarterbacks as I was on you?
I would say no, but I think my son, since I'm coaching him in flag football, would beg to differ right now.
AJ used to get mad at me because he said that when he got around me when I was older, he said I got softer when I got older. He said I wasn't as tough on everybody else as I was on him. You think that you really say that? You really mean that, or you just say that to jar me up?
No, listen, he was nowhere near as hard. I mean, you got to think when Siskey was coaching me, I think Siskey was daggone 23, 24 years old.
24 when I started coaching you.
Was he brutal?
Yeah.
Did he cuss at you a lot as a high school player?
Me and him both went at each other all the time, but hell, we won a ton and should have won a lot more than what we did. But we also brought St. Paul's high school their first state championship ever, so we accomplished a lot together for sure.
We did get in a cussing match one time from the press box to the field without the headphones on. We're like literally physically yelling at each other across the fans, so that was fun. He didn't like my play calling.
So what happened yesterday, AJ? You're dabbling in this media stuff, and sometimes you start to feel the shrapnel. So tell me what happened when you got into these mean media streets that got everybody so worked up yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in a frenzy right now. I guess the University of Auburn's shutting down. I'm hearing, and not gonna have any more sports. But I don't know. I literally I came out and I was asked, about the Auburn situation, and I basically said, and I've seen a couple. This one, AL.com reporter that said, how would I know anybody from Auburn, like a source? And I'm thinking, dude, I'm from the state of Alabama. Like, just because I went to Alabama, you think I'm only friends with people that like the University of Alabama? Or
yes, that is precisely what they think. That 1,000%. Listen, you're now working in my world. Yes, that is precisely what they think. They do not think that. That's like me. I cover Ole Miss, and there are people that like, how would he know about something that's going on at Kentucky or LSU? It's like, guys, I mean, I don't restrict the people that I talk to only people who are connected to Ole Miss. I mean, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, it blew my mind when he kind of tweeted that at me, and I don't ever. Back in the day, I used to, but hell, for the past 10 years, I haven't, and I'm too old and got way too many other things going on to worry about. But when he said that, I was just kind of laughed at it. But the fact that I basically said what my source told me, like whether it was indirectly, directly, they told Harsin, but what he told me was that he has been told that at the end of the year they are going to go their separate ways. Basically, I would think the same type of situation that they did to who was their AD? Alan Green. Alan Green. So it was basically told that way to me, and I have no reason not to trust him. I know he's a very well connected person at the university, so I basically said what he said, and and it has just been in a frenzy since then.
Okay,
and
so
I guess the other thing that kind of pissed him off was the fact that I called what I think I didn't mean the whole university. I'm talking Auburn as a football program right now as a middle to not low tier, but just lower than slightly lower than middle tier in the SEC. I mean, I think if you look at the teams in the SEC, I would put Alabama, Georgia, A&M, LSU, Florida, Tennessee. I think you could argue that Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. I mean, that's what, 8, 9 teams?
Yeah, most of them.
You're saying those are better jobs today, right this moment, than the Auburn job?
Correct.
I'll be honest with you.
I think it's a
who could argue that?
AD. They have a path forward that they are focused on and they believe in. And, I mean, y'all two know, like, this offseason, hell, they tried to do everything they could to fire Harsin.
What'd they do,
they were
AJ?
investigating him and everything else. So it's just a weird deal.
So, AJ, what'd they do? I don't know what happened this offseason. What'd they do?
Just fishing. So bad.
He knows better than that to answer any question.
All right, so see, this is what I'm interested in. Because the first part of what you said, that at the end of the season, Auburn and Brian Harsin are going to part ways. That should have made them happy. This is a fan base that was pissed off on Saturday that the kid from Missouri fumbled inside the one, bless his heart, because they were going to, had Missouri won that game at Auburn, I mean, a lot of the Auburn fans believed they were going to fire Brian Harsin the next day, and they were excited about it. So you saying that Brian Harsin and Auburn are going to part ways at the end of the year should have been cause for celebration.
Yeah, it was a weird deal because even before I said that, like, you know, I've been hearing and seeing articles come out from multiple places and that they were looking to fire him. And so it's not like I said something new. I guess the fact that I said, you know, from my source that he had been told or it was understood that they were parting ways, maybe that was the difference. But, I mean, hell, they got new articles out almost every day talking about new coaches they should go after, Deion Sanders and all these other guys. So, yeah, I don't understand, but I think that the University of Auburn right now is in a frenzy, and it has no clear direction on which way it wants to go.
I'm guessing that the Auburn fans were more upset with the ranking of the job. And this is the part that, frankly, not to take away from the fun part, but this is the interesting part with the Auburn job moving forward is at this very moment, given this current set of circumstances where you have boosters running coups every other year or less than that, I mean, every year, it's not a great job. Now, I was telling Tyler this earlier today, AJ. Auburn could change this. They could hire somebody and go, hey, look, we're going to do for you what Alabama did for Nick Saban. Because, hey, when Alabama hired Nick Saban,
very similar situation.
The year before that, you could argue that the Alabama job was becoming a pretty damn mediocre job. It's hey, you show up for an Alabama game, and you guys remember this. I'm not offending anybody. I hope. If I do, I do. You would go to an Alabama game in the early 2000s, and the whole pregame was an ode to Bear Bryant, who was awesome. I get it, but Bear Bryant was getting kind of in the past.
I do have to admit, they still play that. They play a video at the beginning. It's pretty cool.
They do, but it's not the whole
it's not
thing.
The whole thing. Yeah.
It's not the whole thing. And there was too many boosters involved, and they were always there, and they were always around, and they were running around Franchione, and they ran around Shula and all that stuff. And when Saban came in, that changed. And the Alabama job went from being kind of, in my opinion, a mediocre SEC job to one of the 2 or 3 best jobs in the country, almost like that.
Yep.
And Auburn could go from where, and I agree with what AJ said, Auburn could, if they would follow that template and go, hey, we're going to hire a qualified person and we're going to leave him alone. We're going to let him run his program. We're going to support, but we're not going to meddle. then Auburn becomes an elite job again. But right now, today, Sam Pittman's got a better job at Arkansas than Brian Harsin has at Auburn.
Oh, I agree. And that's what AJ and I were talking about last night. We were texting back and forth is, AJ basically said what I've been saying on here for the whole time we've been coming up with Harsin topics is
21 episodes.
21 episodes, it feels like. You hire a guy to do a job, and from the second that he got the job, he was forced to hire assistants. They didn't like what he did. They tried to get rid of him. It didn't work. And now the people, and this is probably, I don't care. I'll say it. The biggest problem is that the guy
13 minutes. So
I'm
AJ.
good. I'm good, AJ.
13.
I made the 13 minute mark. But the problem is that the people that are being the problem at Auburn are also the people that they used to need. And you hear what I said? Used to need in recruiting. But now the world of NIL, go tell them to kick rocks.
Right.
But you used to need those people.
Sure.
Okay, and that's what they're holding that leverage against them, and so they have not been helped. They've kind of basically instead of helping, they've been a thorn in the guy's side from the day that he showed up. Imagine that we get AJ on here, then Brendan's girlfriends show up in the chat. We got some bots in here that want to say hello to you, AJ. Best adult dating websites.
That's my thing. That I wanted everybody to I felt like needed to be cleared up a little bit after yesterday was I have absolutely nothing against Coach Brian Harsin. Like, I think he's an excellent coach. I think he's in a terrible, just awful situation at the University of Auburn. Like, he's never been the guy. They second-guessed him as soon as Alan Green brought him there. He's never had full control. Like Siskey said, he had to hire certain assistants. You hear of stories and there's articles out there about like not going on recruiting visits to see certain guys and coaches missing certain things. Like it's just a weird ordeal, and you never really, after one season, you do an investigation on the guy, and it's every day a new article comes out that, hey, Harsin's getting fired, Harsin's gone, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, he's not fired. Like, we love him. He's our head coach. And then, after the start of the season, they play Mercer first week, struggled in the first half. They almost lose to San Jose at home. And then absolutely the score didn't do it justice against Penn State. I mean, to me, in my eyes, they got beat way worse than what that score was. And then struggle in overtime against Missouri, who I would say Missouri is, I ask y'all's opinion, I think Missouri's the last placed, them and Vandy are last in the SEC.
No, I think Missouri's up there in the top tier, don't you?
Yeah, they're somewhere. I mean, depending on what you think about South Carolina, they're the 12th or 13th best team in the league.
Hey, how many tattoo trolls did you get on Twitter yesterday?
What, talking about tattoos?
Yeah, talking about how bad your tattoos were. How did they go there yesterday on Twitter?
Hell, I don't know. I only saw one thing, and then I don't ever check social media really.
Hey,
I just saw the one thing that somebody sent me and said he tagged me, so I just looked at that.
Hey, did you see your boy Paul?
I'm sure they did, though.
Did you see your boy Paul Feinbaum went in on you today?
Oh no, what did he say?
Oh, he came after you, dude. He went to WNSP this morning on air and went after you. I just read that about 30 minutes ago.
What did he say?
Oh, he just said he was talking about that you're now 0-2 in your last two meetings against Auburn. They got you again. You fumbled. He said you fumbled. You didn't fumble in the kick six game, did you? I don't remember that.
No.
I don't remember that.
What is he talking about?
I'll let you read it. I don't want to put bad quotes in his mouth. I just saw he went after you. He went on the radio in your hometown. AJ, he came to your hometown.
He went into your hometown.
He went into your hometown on your radio station that Neal used to work at. Neal, did you ever interview AJ when we were at St. Paul's and you were at press register at WNSP?
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
I mean, probably. I knew about AJ,
Yeah.
of course.
I was thinking about that earlier.
I don't know. I was Because when I first got to Mobile, I was immediately on the Auburn beat. So
Gotcha.
I didn't really do a lot of high school stuff except like in the early summer when we did tab stuff.
Yeah.
And I probably did not draw St. Paul's. They would send me to get like Robertsdale and stuff.
Chickasaw.
Yeah. Where I'd be like, Coach, just tell me 4 things about your team so I can get the hell off the phone.
Well, brother, I appreciate you joining us today, man. You got anything else you want to close it out with before we get you out of here?
Oh, no. I'm just getting ready to go coach some flag football practice here in a little bit, and gonna sit back, watch y'all show, and then just kind of cry myself to a nap on what Feinbaum thinks of me. So,
and Kevin Skarbinski's upset at you too. I mean, you're making some powerful enemies. I mean, gosh.
Yeah, well, Kevin needs to do his homework on like the fact that I work for ESPN right now, do college game day radio. He made it seem like I don't do anything. I'm just sitting here in my mom's basement.
Yeah, you are winning at life. You do know that, right? I know I tell you that all the time. You do. You have won the game of life. Have you played any? Did you know that AJ is an avid iRacer?
An avid what?
iRacer. You know what iRacing is?
No.
It's a NASCAR simulator.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. AJ's really goal in life is to retire from football and to become a NASCAR driver.
That would be fun, but
don't you own your own?
By the time I do that, it'll probably be fully electric.
Well, you have to wear a mask inside of the car as you drive. Hey, what are you going to Talladega this weekend, by the way?
I'm not. I gotta head up to Bristol tomorrow to do college game day radio and with Matt Schick, Trevor Maddich, and then I got two digital shows later that night that I do.
So that doesn't make you an analyst, though, right? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm joking.
Hey, when you cover a game and somebody covers the spread at the last second, can you just on ESPN one time up in Bristol say he just got Neal McCready?
I'm losing our competition, AJ, because about 8 times in the last 3 weeks I've had a game backdoor in the last 30 seconds and cost me. It's brutal. I know. I'd rather just lose by 37 points than lose like that. It's awful.
It's just that hope, and then it takes it away.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's got a new nickname. It's called Backdoor McCready.
It's not a nickname I'm very proud of there, AJ, as you can imagine. But it's starting to stick, unfortunately, so we got to do something about it. You like hey, last thing, you like Bengals tonight or Dolphins?
I like Cincinnati. I saw that somebody was in the University of Cincinnati Stadium filming every practice play of the Dolphins and put it out on Twitter. So that should make for an interesting game.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like Cincinnati Bengals? I know you can't really say, but if you just said they had to win by more than 4 points, do you like them that much, or do you think that the Dolphins keep it within a field goal?
I think Cincinnati would win by more than 4. I think they have a good night tonight. I think it's going to be packed. Probably going to be perfect weather up there. They're in the white helmets, I believe, tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Something new.
You would have loved that. You would have come out swagged out.
Oh, dude, those white helmets they got are sweet. But yeah, I like Cincinnati tonight.
All right, very last thing. I'm just curious. I'm fascinated by this because I love talking to quarterbacks. Is there one quarterback in the NFL that when he's on TV you sort of stop and watch because you just want to watch?
Yeah, I mean it's either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I think the way they play the position. I like both of them. Watching when things go wrong, they both have some funny facial expressions. Aaron's a little more animated, rolling his eyes. Like you can tell when he doesn't like the play call, and you can kind of read his lips on certain things. But the way they both play the position is just unreal, and I'm definitely a fan.
Hey, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. We'll love to get you back on sometime again soon.
Appreciate you, brother.
Always.
All right, Bob.
Y'all take care.
That was AJ McCarron. That's fun.
Yeah, we had to get him off there before he started telling stories.
We'll get him back on at some point. We'll make that happen for sure.
Yeah, I started coaching him when I was trying to think while he was doing the interview. I think I was 24, 23. He was young. He was like 13 years old. So, I mean, he was a kid. And it was just one of those, I remember they were telling me about how good this young quarterback was going to be. And they take me up. I said, where are we going? They're taking me up to like the 7th grade playground or something. And I was like, I'm coming from college. I'm like, what are we doing? Dude, and he was probably 6'1", 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I literally threw him a football. I said, throw it down there. I was like, oh, yeah. So he started as a freshman, started every game I was there. So I started him as a freshman. So he is probably, I would say of all of my players that I've coached over the years, probably the one that I'm closest to. Mm-hmm. After we get done,
sure.
We play golf, and he's a good one. He's beat me once in golf. He will claim differently, but he's really pissed. He's probably going to start talking smack in the chat now. But he's a good one, man. He's a coach's dream, and he would probably, of any player I've ever coached, could take out of my brain what I wanted to be done on the field and get it done on the field.
He signed with Alabama in 2009.
So he would have been in the 2009 signing class at Alabama. So he went and he was there. He was the backup quarterback, but still redshirted, did not play, but he was the backup quarterback, never played. But when they went undefeated and beat Texas in the Rose Bowl, and then started the next whatever, and then won back-to-back championships in 11 and 12, and probably, as Grind tried to remind him of in the thread, went back-to-back, and we should have won the third one when Kick Six happened. That was the best football team I've ever been a part of that didn't really do anything.
That's interesting. Best team
I've ever been on, period.
Huh.
And, and he'd probably tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
So they beat LSU one year, beat Notre Dame the next year, and then we were undefeated when we lost Kick Six.
He mentioned Tom Brady. I've been watching a lot of the man in the arena thing because Brady fascinates me too. And the guy won 6 Super Bowls?
He's
7.
Won
He's won a bunch. Yet he'll tell you that the best team that he ever played on was the one that lost to the Giants in 2007.
Yeah, it's just, that's how the ball bounces sometimes. But we were loaded, dude. Oh man, we were loaded. We had T.J. Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara in our running back room.
Wow,
think about that.
Yeah,
Amari Cooper, O.J. Howard. On defense, C.J. Mosley. Dude, we were Clinton Dix. We were loaded, man. Marlon Humphrey didn't even play on that team. That tells you something. He got redshirted because he wasn't good enough to play.
Yeah, I just can't imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
It was ridiculous, man. And it was like when you went to practice, it helped me a ton because when I went to practice, I'm like, holy smokes. Every single dude out here is good enough to play on Sundays. It was wild.
Yeah, about 40 of them did.
Yeah, they were good.
All right. Thanks again to AJ for his time. We'll get him back on. That was a lot of fun. A reminder, we're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. It's 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Brennan's girlfriends, man, they are persistent.
Yeah, they are. That's good for him, though. They're chasing him.
That's true. Hide user on this channel. All right. We're also brought to you by Walk On Sports Bistro. They put everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine like po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap as well. Visit them today in Oxford or Ridgeland. In about an hour and a half on this very stream, Pete's Pigskin Preview, which is brought to you by Walk-Ons, will be making its debut. So you want to check that out.
But that's going to be a good one, huh?
Oh, it's really good. He got film from Ole Miss Tulsa.
Okay.
And he's got film from Kentucky's win at Florida.
Okay.
So breaking down the two teams as Ole Miss gets ready to play Kentucky on Saturday morning in Oxford. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. A couple things to get to before we get to our picks, though.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Dolphins practice getting filmed, got released on social media. Does it matter?
I personally don't think it matters at all.
Because the Bengals know all their plays anyway, right?
Yeah, it's a walkthrough. I mean, you got some, I mean, maybe with some game plan routes or whatever, but I mean, guys, I think I've said it on here, so this goes, get your free square ready. If I repeat a story, I apologize. When we went to the college football playoff at Alabama, we knew every single play that Ohio State was going to run for the first 15 or 20 plays because they left their opening script in the trash can at the Saints facility. Did I tell that on here?
No.
Oh, I haven't. Whoops. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I thought I told that already. All right. So, yeah, we practiced in the Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Saints were playing a home game. We were there like 9 days. And Ohio State was practicing at the Saints facility.
Out of Metairie.
Mm-hmm. And so that when the Saints played the home game, we had to move practice, and we practiced after they did at the Saints facility at the indoor. Well, we go in there, and they've thrown their scripts away from practice. And this is like 3 days before the game, 4 days before the game. We knew every single play. And by gosh, they ran them too.
Is that right?
And guess what?
Did y'all shut them down?
No, they ran through us like shit through a tin horn. We didn't even slow them down.
Because it still comes down to execution.
Ezekiel Elliott, just right through us. And in third down, when you were there where they were going with the ball, it didn't matter. And that's when I was like, this stuff is highly overrated, man. It's about execution. You can know, and you can have the perfect play call. You can know exactly what somebody's going to do, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But we knew every play that they were going to run. I think it was the first 15 plays, and knew like their top third down calls, like what you would go over on a Wednesday. Didn't matter. We knew exactly what they were going to do. Did not matter. We lost the game.
How about that?
Yeah, that sucked.
All right. I was listening to Rich Eisen. He had Deion Sanders on, and Deion was talking about his son, the quarterback, and how Georgia Tech came up, and he talked about how he's flattered and blah, blah, blah. And I was telling you, I was thinking about it, and I've spent exactly, you and I talked today for what, about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I've spent about 4 minutes thinking about this job. I mean, that's about how long I plan to spend thinking about the Georgia Tech job. But I do have a theory.
Okay.
And the theory is this. When your program is in the gutter, it's the ladder theory, okay? When you're on the bottom rung of the ladder, you can jump because there's nowhere to fall.
It's fair.
If you're 10 rungs up, well, now you're being careful. Why? Because that fall's going to hurt, right? Georgia Tech's on the very bottom rung.
Agree.
There's nowhere to fall. They're like a baby. When a baby's walking and they're waddling around and the baby falls, and everybody goes, "Oh, baby's fine. There was nowhere to fall. He just fell on his bottom." He gets up. Maybe he cries a minute, but he's not hurt. You don't have to take him to the doctor. He didn't fall down the stairs. He just was waddling around, and he fell, and he lost his balance, and boom, gets back up and goes again. Georgia Tech's the baby right now. Swing. Go for it. Hire Deion Sanders. Hire somebody that's a chance. Make the contract such that if it's a total disaster, you can get out of it. But the difference, and you know what I'm about to say, the difference between being a 3-9 team and a 1-11 team is absolute nothing.
120 minutes of success.
It's just, it doesn't register.
Yeah.
So if you're 2-10, 3-9, 2-10, 3-9, why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, we could go 1-11. Okay, so what? I mean, you're irrelevant. Do something to make yourself relevant and try.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I really haven't thought about it that way. I mean, I guess I have, but not in those words. That was a very good, that was something that my uneducated or my educated redneck self could understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My thing is that I wouldn't take it if I was Deion. And that's what I was saying the other day. Deion can't. When Deion took over Jackson State with his name and the NIL stuff and all the things that he could do to bring, he could have immediately out-recruit tenfold any of his competition.
Yeah.
And so he has better players than everybody. He's going to continue to win. When you go to a job like Georgia Tech, you're not going to be able to do that. Deion Sanders is not walking in the door at Georgia Tech and telling Kirby Smart and Nick Saban
he's not.
and Billy Napier and Brian Kelly or Mac Brown or any of those guys that I'm second fiddle.
Nope. But you know what? He's got the ability and the cachet because national media love him. He's got the Barstool thing. He's got the Aflac thing. He's got all that stuff. He's got the ability, if Georgia Tech would sign up, to do a lot of portal stuff, to make a lot of portal noise, because he's got an aura about him that people are attracted to.
Oh, I 100% agree with that.
And so don't get me wrong, it's a lot similar, frankly, to Ole Miss hiring Lane Kiffin.
Except Lane knows what he's doing.
He does. He does. But what Deion would have to do at a place like Georgia Tech, who's his agent?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know, actually.
He would have to surround himself with enough people that he was willing to listen to. And I don't know Deion, so I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I have no clue. So I don't mean that as an insult. I literally don't know. But if he surrounded himself with a little, because he'd have a better budget for hiring coaches. Mm-hmm. He's on a shoestring budget at Jackson State as it pertains to hiring coaches. If they invested in the budget where he could hire some veteran coaches who knew how to organize recruiting, who knew how to organize practice, some things of that nature, and he personally got dialed more in, and he probably would in Atlanta more than he is in Jackson. The point is, I'm not saying it would work. I mean, but if it fails, so what? If you just fail again, okay.
Yeah, and I want to say something. Grind, because I think he brought this up the other day. And Grind says Travis Hunter didn't have Bethune-Cookman in Jacksonville State hat on the table. He had it, Florida State and Bama. Yes, he did go recruit him. But you know what? We were at Ole Miss, and we got Jerrion Ely, who's a 5-star that a lot of people wanted. The class, whatever class it was, 2013, we got a bunch of really good dudes that everybody wanted. You see any national championship trophies over there? Everybody gets good players, and that's the talent. The roster. Getting one guy is not going to get it done.
No, of course
you're
not.
You're going to have to go get 50 dudes.
But if you told me that a Deion Sanders organized thing, and again, we're not talking like if I'm Oklahoma, am I hiring Deion Sanders? Hell no. Why? I'm already really high up the ladder. I'm not taking a risk. Think about it. When you go up to paint your painting or you're changing out a light bulb, when you're at the top of that ladder, you're pretty damn laser focused, right?
Yeah.
You're concentrating.
Yes.
You're not taking chances. You're at Ohio State. You're not taking a chance. You're going ironclad. You're going safe pick. Georgia Tech's at the very bottom of the ladder. I'm not even sure they're on the ladder. They might literally not be on the ladder. They might be the baby walking around with you have the picture in your mind, right? He's just got on his diaper. The diaper looks bigger than him practically. He's just walking around. He's got nowhere to fall. Even if he falls forward and lands on his face, he's not going to hurt himself because there's not enough place to fall. That's where they are. Take a shot. Yeah, that's their problem. If I'm them, the last thing I do is go, you know what? There's this offensive coordinator. No, it's not going to work.
No, because the truth is, and everybody's like, well, he went 4-8 or whatever his record was. Dude, Jeff Collins, like I've said, you got a recruiter that was a good football coach and all that. And it didn't work.
It didn't work. Here was Jeff Collins' problem. Jeff Collins tried to put brand out there before he established a brand. And I don't mean it's a knock. I mean, it's such a hard job. It's such a hard job. What I'm trying to say, and the more I think about it, the more I think it makes sense, is that Deion has a brand.
No, 200%. And I say from Georgia, and that's what I'm saying, from Georgia Tech's perspective.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So here's all the difference in the world. Like let's say Kirby Smart. Yeah. Kirby. But that's why if I'm Georgia Tech, and I have no idea whether they're serious about it or not. We're about to find out. Because if they just go hire another Jeff Collins, well, you just reset the clock. That's all you did. I mean, it was inevitable. You just reset the clock. But if you're invested in it, and again, no clue if they are or aren't, but if they decided that, hey, if we're going to participate in this deal, we want to be competitive in the ACC. We know what's coming in 2035 at the absolute latest. There's going to be a reset on this sport in the next 10 years. If we want to position ourselves to be relevant at that time, meaning when the ACC falls apart and everybody goes and finds a new home, you're not in the Sun Belt. Okay?
That would be a problem.
So if you want to be serious about it, you got to invest. And if you're going to invest, well, then why not invest in a brand?
Yeah,
because if you put enough money on the table, because I don't know who else is – here's Deion's problem, right?
Florida State's winning.
Deion's problem is the places that might take a shot on him aren't open.
Right.
And if you do the deal where I'll wait till it is. Well, you never know, champ. Might be a hell of a wait.
I think he's going – and look, I think he's going – I mean, as long as he's there, he'll win. He may not lose another game at Jackson State. I mean, they're that – you think it would be like Alabama playing in the Sun Belt. That's about what their talent level is compared to their opponents. He may not lose another game.
He's just such a huge name in Atlanta that if I were Georgia Tech, if I have the money to throw the proverbial bank at him, I'd do it.
But do they?
That I don't know. I said if. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what their situation is.
I mean, they just paid Jeff Collins 11.3, right?
They got more than Jackson State's got.
This is true. And so, I don't know if it's about money with Prime either, right? That's the thing.
He wants to be a Power 5 head coach. Well, that's a Power 5 job. It's not a great Power 5 job, but it's a Power 5 job, and it's in a city that he knows.
Oh, yeah.
It's in a city where he is known. It's in a city where he is a big brand. He would immediately make Georgia Tech football
a brand.
Interesting.
Correct.
Relevant. If you're Georgia Tech and it means anything to you, I at least have to really go down that road. I have to really study that. And I have to ask him, hey, look, you're new at this. You're not a lifer in football coaching. If we helped you surround yourself with people who could help you, would you be amenable to that? Would you be cool with that? Would you feel threatened, or would you go, hey, these are resources that I can use. These are people that I can learn from. And I wouldn't surround him with anybody who would try to instigate a coup. It would be, hey, understand you're working with a kind of a young coach who does it his own way, but he's our brand. You do anything to screw it up, you're out. We can get rid of an assistant fast.
I want to say this, too, about Deion. I think he gets, everybody's the brand. The videos that I like the most is when he's in the locker room, the lessons and the way he teaches the kids. Mm-hmm. I think that's really good. And to the point, I just think I grew up, I grew up Anniston, Alabama, 1 hour from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So when he was playing and do all that stuff, I was, that was when I was a kid and all that stuff. So I want to see him be successful. I just don't know. Like if I was Deion, I would not entertain that.
Yeah.
I would just keep winning. Billy Napier at Jackson State, and he doesn't need the money. So it's not like he's waiting on a job to go get paid. You know what I mean? Like,
which is, in my opinion, another reason why if I'm him, I do it.
Now, the one thing that may push him over the edge a little bit is if that's the only Power 5 job offer he has, that he would take it, is I think he wants to see his son quarterback at that level.
Yeah.
I think that would probably push him a little bit more.
And if I'm Georgia Tech, the fact that his son's there, who's a pretty good player, was it Sherrod? Is that his name?
Yeah.
If I'm Georgia Tech, that's another reason to explore it.
Yeah, I mean,
because I got no. There's
no more rungs down there.
If I'm Georgia Tech, that's the bottom line. When someone goes, "Well, this is risky," so what? What's the worst that could happen?
Do you know why it won't happen? Because it makes too much sense, Neal.
Well,
we make this way too complicated.
Well, there's no question about that.
Shador.
That's just Shador Sanders. Okay.
Although Grind, I got in trouble today because you gave us Grind gave us the wrong dates on the Alabama series, and somebody blew us up on social media about it. So
son of a bitch.
Grind,
damn
it.
Grind.
I mean, golly, Grind.
Send your payment back, Grind.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. About time to start talking about some stuff.
It's time. Make it rain.
Before we do, I want to tell you that we're brought to you by Clean Side Wipes. They are the Safer Choice Partner of the Year from EPA 2021. Kills COVID in 30 seconds. Broad spectrum, hospital grade, antimicrobial efficacy. citric acid base, no harsh chemicals, simple one-step, no rinse, cleansing, disinfecting, removes film left over by harsh chemicals such as ammonia, bleach, and alcohol. Clean Side has the lowest toxicity rating allowable by the EPA. You know what that means, Tyler?
No idea.
It means it poses the lowest risk to the health of employees, patients, students, customers, environment. Clean Side acid-based, Clean Side germicidal wipes deliver powerful efficacy against pathogens without the potentially harmful effects of other chemical disinfectants. It's all in one easy-to-use wipe. Schools, daycares, nurseries, hospitals, long-term care facilities, office buildings, households, and more should be using Clean Side. And if you want to get it, you can. You can get it in a wipe or in a ready-to-use spray by contacting our buddy Todd Abbott, wipesandgloves@gmail.com. That's wipes and gloves, the word A-N-D, not the ampersand. A-N-D gloves@gmail.com.
You said at least 14 words in that read that I have no idea what they mean.
That's Aniston.
Hey, I wonder if we told Todd to get a reading for me, what the reading would look like. Buy these wipes right here.
See these wipes?
Say these wipes?
Yeah.
They clean shit.
That's right.
He probably wouldn't say shit, though.
You just don't get a degree from Ruston High School and then a degree from the University of Louisiana at Monroe.
Was it North?
It was Northeast
East?
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's the University of Louisiana at Monroe.
Yeah. So, yeah, somebody brought up in the thread. I told you I was catching up. Was it yesterday, I think, and I heard you read the Barstool chicken. Is it chicken fry?
Yeah.
Dude, I fell out. I almost threw up in my car this morning. Was it this morning, yesterday morning?
I get to read it one more time tonight. I'm kind of excited.
I am too. Fired up, chicken fry. Hey, Neal.
Hey, Tyler.
Do you know what time it is?
It's time to make it rain.
It's time for Week 5 edition of the Road to Boise.
Yeah, I'm already somewhere over Nebraska right now.
I am fired up about the picks today. So fired up.
Yep.
Since I'm 7.03 units ahead going into Week 5.
But I mean, who's counting?
Who's counting? I am going to allow you to start off in the NFL.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
By the way, and this is the other thing, I got a bone to pick with you too, by the way.
Well, pick it.
So last week, I went home, had a nice dinner, watching the ball game. I decided to turn on the 7 o'clock show. And
Hand raise guys.
Hand raise guys.
Yep.
And I saw my man Ben Mintz in there talking to you. Do you steal your picks from Ben Mintz?
I do not.
Okay. I was just checking, just getting a legal advice from an expert.
I just have a lot of resources, and
Okay.
sometimes he's one of those resources.
All right. I was just checking.
Ben will appear tonight on Hand Raise Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't let me forget that Ole Miss is getting a commitment at 3:30, and I've got to publish the story. Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget.
You want me to not let you forget about Ole Miss getting a commitment?
Well, you're a recruiting guy. All right, I'll start off. I'm going to start right now tonight because I can feel it. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to get back to 2-2. We're going to fix this thing. We're going to be all right. The Dolphins are tired. Tua's kind of beat up. This is a schedule loss for the Dolphins. The Bengals -3.5 at home, and the whiteout beat the Dolphins and cover the 3.5.
It's at 4 now. You still like it?
I still like it.
All right. Maybe I won't double check.
Now, I checked this afternoon because I updated. It was 3.5.
I checked it at lunch. Let me double check you.
Okay. I checked in the 1 o'clock hour.
All right. It is -3.5.
There you go.
Hey, Neal.
Hey.
Tonight,
Yes, sir.
our Cincinnati Bengals,
Yes, sir.
are playing the undefeated Miami Dolphins.
We were just talking about this very game 10 seconds ago. Yep.
They are.
Yep.
And the Cincinnati Bengals are favored by 3.5.
That is correct.
Guess what, Neal?
You're taking the
It's too much. It's too much. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins plus 3.5. Okay. So
right.
for my emotional support, it would make me happy if this game goes to overtime
And the Bengals win by 3.
And the Dolphins go 3 and out, and Joey B drives them down there. McPherson kicks it from about 41 yards to walk it off up 3. That'd be a great ending for today.
I'd be happy and pissed at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm taking the Dolphins plus 3.5. All kidding aside, I don't know how this is. I mean, you're talking about a trap game, like this Vegas is messing with one of us because there's no way that Miami should be an underdog in this game, but they are.
They've looked really good, but they played it was hot Sunday game, physical game, emotional game. Both teams were spent at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And you got to turn around and do quick. Meanwhile, the Bengals played a noon game on Sunday in New Jersey to be specific. It wasn't particularly hot. It wasn't particularly emotional. It's kind of over. They weren't drained, and they get a week. And they get a longer, not a week.
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? One team's tired, one team's not. And then Miami had to deal with all of the distraction of hurricane stuff.
They left early.
So they left early. Cincinnati's been practicing at home. I really, I love the Bengals. I cheer for the Bengals. But I think they're winning tonight.
Okay. I think they win too by 3.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Your next pick, sir.
Well, this team has been so good to me that I am fast becoming a fan. I am so close to jersey ordering with this team.
Will you do it if they win?
You know what? If they do it today.
If they cover, if they win.
Gotta think about it.
All right.
I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Plus 6.5 points.
That's a lot of points.
At Philadelphia. The way that I started to call them the way that the Jags are playing.
Brendan's chicks are back.
They're back. Good Lord, you people are persistent.
You know, if Brendan wouldn't keep clicking it, they wouldn't keep coming back.
They should advertise. I like Jacksonville.
I'll let you do the reader on that one.
I had someone say you'd advertise anything, wouldn't you? I said, I mean, maybe. I mean, sure. Jacksonville plus 6.5 at Philly. I love it. I won't be shocked if the Jags win straight up. And now Philly's awfully good. They look to be so far the class of the NFC. Jalen Hurts is playing terrific. He's got weapons, including AJ Brown. They look very proficient right now.
Yeah, they do. I actually like that pick. I couldn't do it because I probably would have gone with that one as well. But for the podcast, let you have it.
Okay.
I'm also going back to the well. Okay, my well is not a particular team. Well, I guess it is. It's any team playing the Aints. Okay, so you're going to wake up at 8:30 on Sunday morning.
I am.
Are you fired up about this?
I am. I'm so fired up about it. This. I mean, I'm going to be honest. People are mad. You offer me an 11 a.m. game for me to cover, and then a football game at 8:30.
Dude, it's golden.
I'll be finished with 10 thoughts by noon after having a relaxing evening. Yes.
What time will you crack open your first beer on Sunday?
On Sunday?
Yep.
I got to do player shows that afternoon, probably as soon as they're over.
Gotcha.
Like 4 o'clock.
But in London,
yes,
little tea and crumpets.
Wow.
The Minnesota Vikings are favored by 3 against the New Orleans Aints.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're actually going to play our boy Andy Dalton. I think is going to be the quarterback. I think he is going to play for the Aints.
Are they going to make the move?
This is the word on the street.
The Red Baron.
Yeah, this is the word on the street. It doesn't matter. They're favored by 3. It's not enough. I'm taking the Vikings all over the Aints in London.
I don't hate that pick. I actually thought about that. I just liked a couple of other games more, potentially.
All right. Your third pick.
All right, here we go. The Detroit Lions play the Seattle Seahawks in Detroit. Yep. The Lions have shown some signs. They've been a really good home team. They've blown some games, but they're getting better. And I don't think Seattle's good. I like Detroit covering the 4 at home against the Seahawks.
I just want to go on record and say that this has backdoor McCready written all over it.
It does, but you know what? There's only one way.
You're right, the back door.
There's only one way to overcome this, and that is to attack it.
I love it. I love it. All right, my third game The Buffalo Bills are coming off. They're pissed. They're coming off of a devastating loss, which really they should have won the game, but they're coming off a loss in Miami, are going to the Baltimore Ravens. And dude, I'm not buying the Ravens. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I think the Bills are pissed. I think they're going to show that they're the dominant team. The Bills are favored by 3. That ain't enough. I'm taking the Bills all over the Ravens in Baltimore on Sunday.
Interesting. I'm a little concerned that this is a game where Buffalo lost a game and loses it twice. I'm a little concerned about them from a fatigue standpoint, a beat-up standpoint.
They're beat up, but
that was a physical game, and Lamar Jackson's playing contract football right now.
Yeah.
But you're right. I could see Buffalo winning and covering. That's not out of the realm.
In the NFL, anything's possible.
Yeah, come on. All right, my 4th NFL pick. Going back to, I'm gonna go back to the well a little bit here. I went against Denver last week. Should have won, didn't. This time Denver's on the road in Las Vegas playing a Raiders team that absolutely must win.
Have to win.
No choice but to win. What does Adam Carolla say? Mandate, get it on, must get it on, have to get it on. Yeah, here we are. I'm taking the Raiders, laying 2.5 at home against the Broncos. I don't like what I've seen from Denver. They've won a couple of games. Kudos to them. But I think they lose this one at lovely Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Can't hate that one. All right, I was having a tough time with 5 NFL picks. I had 4, and I did have a little office suggestion on this one, and I kind of like it.
Okay, that's not fair, but go ahead.
Well, it's just I agreed with it, and they talked me into it. So I got the Los Angeles Chargers are going to Houston, the winless Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah.
And they're favored by 5.
I thought about this game.
However, the entire team is hurt.
Yes.
Bosa's out. He's out for a while. He went on IR with a torn groin. Everybody's out. The whole team is hurt. And the Texans are at home. Dude, Texans are good on defense. They got my man Larry Tunsil covering the blind side. I like the Houston Texans plus 5 at home against the Chargers.
I thought about that one. I think that's a good pick. I just liked one more game a little bit better.
All right. Go last pick, sir.
First of all, thoughts and prayers to the people in Florida. They've been hit hard.
Bad deal.
The storm surge was awful. So thoughts to everyone. They are playing the game in Tampa Bay at Raymond James.
They're not going to move it?
They're not moving it. And as much as it would probably benefit the people in Tampa emotionally to get a win, I don't think they're getting a win. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs plus a point on the road at Tampa.
They plus or minus?
I've got them plus. But if not, I'll lay a point.
Yeah.
I mean, what difference does it make?
Come on, man. A whole point? It's now pick 'em.
All right. Well, then I've got the Chiefs in a pick 'em.
Yep.
Against Tampa Bay.
All right, here we go. My last game. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
And I am also taking the Chiefs to win. I'm not sold on Tampa right now, dude.
No, I'm not either.
I think there's something major going on. I don't give a shit who's playing and who's not playing. I think Tom's hanging it up. He hasn't been playing great. He's pissed off, and when he does play great, he's pissed off. I mean, there's some angst there, and it's different. I don't know, man. Something's going on. Dude doesn't look healthy. I'm talking about like physically doesn't look good. I'm taking Kansas City to beat Tampa Bay. I mean, that game should have been close last week.
All right, so we agree.
All right, here we go.
All right.
This is what it's all about right here. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, okay.
This is our college bets on Make It Rain. Again, I'm going to allow you, sir.
You're going to let me go first.
To start them off.
It's very kind of you. We'll start in the Pac-12. A team that I've noticed a little bit. They're solid. I'm going to go with the Washington Huskies at home in Seattle against UCLA. I'm going to have to lay 2.5. I'm comfortable with that. I think the Huskies win big at home against the Bruins.
Neal, I'm going to save you the drama here.
Yes, sir.
I'm also taking the Huskies minus 2.5. I bet against them when they played Michigan State a couple weeks ago, and they made me look like bad. UCLA, I'm not. There's going to be like 26 people Friday night in L.A. Are you kidding me? There's going to be 26 people in the Rose Bowl, and they're probably all going to be Brian Kelly's family to watch this game. Nobody's going to be there.
Is this game in L.A.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
There's nobody going to be there. Bring your own juice. I think Washington's a much better football team. I actually don't think this one's going to be particularly close. I like Washington big on the road.
All right. We both got the Huskies. My next game, I go to the Big Ten, a team that I'm mad at myself for not jumping on them a week ago when I thought seriously about it, had it written down on my sheet, and was like, I don't know. I'm in now. Minnesota Golden Gophers. They get Purdue at their place. They got to lay 12. It's a lot of points. But Minnesota is this older team, veteran team.
Old dudes.
They are not doing this emotional roller coaster thing. They're just taking care of business.
You know what they're doing? They're rowing the boat.
They are rowing the boat. He's a good program builder, and he's got a pretty good team. He's got some skilled guys. They got some older guys. They're winning the line of scrimmage, and I think they're going to dominate Purdue. Minnesota minus 12 against Purdue.
Look at you, man. All right. Do I go ahead and do it?
Do it. I know what you're about to do. You're about to just ruin the whole damn show, but go ahead. Do it. So, whatever. I mean,
On Saturday
at
11 a.m.
Uh-huh.
There's a big game here in town. I'm going, by the way.
Are you?
It will be my first game ever to watch in Vaught Hemingway Stadium as a fan.
Okay.
It's only the third I've ever been to in my life, actually.
What are you going to wear? Are you going to participate in the stripe out?
I will be sitting in the Kentucky coaches family section, so I imagine that I will be wearing white. That's what I've decided. I'm going to go as neutral as I can get.
That's fair.
I'm just going to wear white.
Yeah.
So I'll be sitting with some coaches' families from Kentucky, so I probably don't need to be. I'm taking my two boys. I was going to Auburn. That was the plan. We were going to Auburn. The hurricane and all that stuff started, so we went ahead and just scrapped that, and they want to go this game. So I called my peeps over at Kentucky. I got us hooked up. I am worried about my 6-year-old saying something because he is an Ole Miss fan. So I'm going to have to figure out how to zip his mouth up. But anyway, Kentucky is 7-point dogs against Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I am taking Kentucky plus the 7 points at Ole Miss. Here's the truth. I think this game's going to be close.
I do too.
Kentucky is a gritty team. They never really blow anybody out that they play, and they play every game close. I think in the last 2 years they've lost by more than 7 points once or something crazy. I think they're a tough team, vice versa the other way. I just think it's a close game. I think it comes down to a kick either way. And I'll say what I said again to Ole Miss fans because I know we have a bunch listening. If I was an Ole Miss fan, do some emotional hedging. Take Kentucky. You're 7 points now. It's up to 7.
Yeah.
Take Kentucky plus 7. If Ole Miss covers, you're freaking happy, man. If Ole Miss covers, you probably wake up and you're damn near a top 10 team come Sunday morning.
For sure.
So you're happy.
Yes.
And whatever, if it was $25, if it was $100, you would gladly give that right now.
And if Ole Miss wins by less than 7, your team still won.
You thread the needle. It's a great game.
You lost a little money, but you'd have burned that money if the guys had come down and said, "Hey, they win." You got to pay $50, but they'll win. Here,
it's a great day.
And if they lose, well, at least you made
money.
At least you made some money.
And I don't know. I just think it's going to be a close game. Either way, I think it comes down to a last possession deal and 7 points. And to be honest with you, when I go to play the bet myself, I will probably buy. If it's still at 7, I'll probably buy half a point to where it's 7.5. I definitely don't think it's a 2-score game.
Okay.
So I'm taking Kentucky plus 7.
All right. I like that. My third pick. So I got a number of things working here. Number one, I think there's a program that has been gutted by defection of coach.
Have we already talked about them today?
No.
Oh.
They've been gutted more than we thought they'd be gutted. The fall is more precipitous than we thought it was.
Okay.
They were a little high up the ladder, and they've taken a tumble. Okay? Meanwhile, the other team involved in this game is kind of surging.
Ooh.
Playing with some confidence.
Ooh.
Winning games.
Ooh.
Could easily be undefeated.
Ooh.
And covering lines. And I like the coach.
Oh, I know where you're going now.
And I don't like the other team.
It took me a minute. Why don't you like me?
And I like Jaguars. Give me South Alabama. I'm going to lay 8.5. I know it's in Lafayette. I don't think it matters. Kane's team is playing with fire. 8.5. Jags lay 8.5 in Lafayette against the Cajuns.
Throw up the Jays, Neal. You got to go left hand. Nope, got to go left hand. That's an L. There you go. Throw up the Jays, Neal. I like it. Yeah, I've kind of figured I really wanted to pick that game, but I knew you were going to pick it. So in the interest of a podcast, I stayed away from it.
Thank you.
But I love me some Kane. I think this is a really big game for his program.
Yes.
If he can go to Lafayette and win, the world that's big.
He's taken that step.
And
I think they're ready to take it. They play like a team ready to take it. They should be undefeated right now.
Yep. So I'm excited I'll be watching. I think it's like 4:00 our time. I think it's what time? 3 or 4.
Something like that. I plan to turn it on while I'm riding.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next game, the Oklahoma State Cowboys are going to Baylor.
Yeah, it's good. Big Big 12 game.
Big 12 game.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor is favored by 2 against Oklahoma State. I am taking the Oklahoma State Cowboys +2. I think they win the game outright.
I do too. It's a great pick.
I think, like we talked about earlier, I'm not fired up I've watched Baylor 2 weeks in a row now against BYU, which they lost, and then against Iowa State last week. I'm not fired up on offensively at Baylor right now. Defensively, they're not as good as they were last year. They're good, but they're not as good. Dude, I just like Oklahoma State. I think it's a bad matchup for Baylor. I like Oklahoma State really to win the game, but I'm taking them +2.
Okay. All right, I'm going. I'm down to 3 games, choosing 2, and I'm gonna stick with my gut here.
This is your 4th pick, right?
4th pick. A couple of Nick Saban disciples squaring off. Power 5 game. Maryland and Michigan State.
Oh, I was trying to figure out where it was.
Yeah.
Quick U clients.
Oh, battle of quick use.
No, just Michigan State.
Okay. Well, I'm going against quick U. I'm taking the Maryland Terrapins -8.5 at home against Michigan State. Michigan State looks lost a little bit. They don't look right. Maryland does. Give me the Terps.
Yeah, it's a big game for Michigan State. They played 2 pretty good teams back to back. Washington and then Minnesota.
And I think Maryland's a little better than people think they are.
They are. Locke's doing a great job.
He's doing a really good job.
And little Tua, Leah's up there, and he's playing his ass off, so that's a good game. All right, one of the games that I feel the best about,
yes,
that I'm really shocked at the line.
Okay.
You see the shirt I'm wearing, Neal?
The Georgia Bulldogs.
The Georgia Bulldogs are going to Missouri.
Yep.
And they are 28-point favorites. Neal, guess what?
It's not enough.
It's not enough. It's nowhere in the vicinity of enough.
Yeah.
I think this game may be covered by the first quarter. I think this is going to be all she wrote. I'm talking about
he's mad. They were
dude,
not
the
happy.
worst. Like Vegas does not know Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Do you know how pissed off that team is going to be when they come out of the tunnel?
Well,
the worst thing that could happen to Missouri was Kent State score 20 points.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing that could happen to anybody because it's reset.
Yeah.
And it's on like Donkey Kong in Athens, Georgia, was rough.
It was
rough that week.
It was a rough week to be in the building.
And I feel so bad for anybody that even considers taking Missouri in the points. I'm Georgia all the way. Not even close. My favorite bet of the week.
All right. I like that pick. If I were picking SEC games, that was on my list. Instead, I'm picking another Pac-12 game. I'm choosing this one. The other one I thought about was Duke -3 against Virginia. But I'm going to go with a more proven commodity here. Oregon on the road is not so good. Oregon at home is a beast. Stanford, without their starting running back, Stanford's just not very good anyway. I'm not sure Stanford can score many points, and Oregon's going to run it up. I'm going to lay 17 points and take the Ducks.
You know Stanford is one of the 10 teams that has not covered yet.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they're one that hasn't covered. Minnesota has covered every time. So it was an interesting list. But, yeah, I looked at that one. As a matter of fact, I had it written down, but I didn't do it. All right, this is my 5th game.
Your 5th game.
All right, here we go. My fighting Tom Allens, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yep.
The 3-1 Indiana Hoosiers.
Yep.
Are going on the road
mm-hmm.
to the have not won a FBS game in the last 9 games, Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers are actually favored by 5.5 in this game.
Wow. You're going to take the Hoosiers and the points,
I'm
aren't you?
taking the Indiana Hoosiers plus 5.5, the Fighting Tom Allens, to not lose the game by at least 6 points. So I'm taking Indiana plus 5.5 at Nebraska. And let me tell you why, though. I'm being serious.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Nebraska was on a bye week last week. Do you know what those kids did last week? You think they were thinking about playing Indiana, or they were trying to figure out where they're going to transfer to at the end of the year?
They were checking things out.
You think they were die hard, we've got to get ready to go and play Indiana, or are we going to party and do some other things and start losing our focus when you get your bye week and get a chance to go home early?
They went home.
I think the focus is low.
Yeah.
I'm taking Indiana. Indiana may win this game big. It's probably a good money line pick. But I'm taking Indiana plus 5.5.
All right. Time for the money line.
You know what time it is?
It's money line time.
Money line.
All right. I'm going back to the Big Ten for my money line pick. I went looking for a road dog that I think is going to win straight up, and I think I found it pretty quick.
Oh.
I looked at 3 different games, okay, for my money line. I thought about West Virginia at Texas.
Yep.
Big number. I think it was plus 285.
Is yours playing?
They're not sure.
Okay.
And I wasn't willing to run. I wasn't willing to roll that dice. And West Virginia is a different team in Morgantown than they are in any place not named Morgantown. Okay. And I went thinking about, hey, is there a way? I'm way behind. Is there a way I can get 5, 6, 7 units on a game? And I thought about one. I didn't think about it much, but I thought about it. I thought, I think somebody's going to get Alabama in one of these road games. Maybe it's Arkansas. I thought, that line would be a lot, in my opinion, lower if you change one play in Arlington.
2 feet.
Maybe not even that. Maybe just one snap. Maybe the kid makes one good snap on 2nd and 15, 2nd and 5 at the 15, and Arkansas scores. I don't think A&M is going to drive the field. And if Arkansas wins that game by 4 or 5 points, are we talking about this game differently this weekend than I thought maybe? And then I thought, I don't know, Sam Pittman going to have a hard time getting those kids back. That was a brutal loss for them. It's a big rivalry. And I went, no, I'm not ready to do that. I think Alabama's going to blow them out.
Okay.
So I went to the one that I believe Brett Bielema's going back to Wisconsin. His team's playing pretty decent in Champaign, and Wisconsin's a mess. Give me Illinois on the money line, winning straight up at plus 220.
Does he go in there and blow them out, and then they hire him back as their head coach?
No and no. But I think an emotional game for him, it would be a big win for him. His kids know it.
I love that bet.
And so I really like Illinois straight up.
And that's plus what?
220 as of this afternoon.
Wow. So you're going to win that one.
I mean, we'll see.
I feel really good about that one.
Knowing my luck, Wisconsin will win 17-16 on a 58-yard field goal that the wind carries. And it'll hit the crossbar, and it'll bounce up in the air, come back down, hit it again, and then just topple over.
All right, Grind, I got something for you here, boss. Neal, we talked about the weather early in the week.
Okay.
Because that was the big reason that we had to cancel our Auburn trip.
Yeah.
Because we were worried that it was 100% chance of rain in Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, it's not going to rain.
And now it's not going. There is, as we speak, it's going, the hurricane's going to go back north of South Carolina, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The chance of rain in Auburn, Alabama on Saturday night is 0%.
Yes.
But let me tell you something.
Okay.
The chance of rain in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Saturday night is 100%. I am taking.
You have lost your mind.
The money line pick of the week. I am taking the Arkansas Razorbacks.
You have lost
plus
your mind.
600 on the road in Fayetteville. Yes, sir.
Ingredients. What the hell's in this stuff?
What do you think about that?
I'm looking. Carbonated water, citric acid, natural flavors, sodium citrate, Panax ginseng extract.
You don't see any
green tea extract.
Any hallucinogenics in there?
I'm looking. Acesulfame, potassium.
I think you can see the future with those glasses on you got there.
Lactate. You're picking Arkansas to win straight up.
Arkansas
over Alabama.
will win straight up.
Well,
think about this. If that kick goes through, what's the line today? 10?
It's 17.5 right now. It's probably 12 points.
Yeah. So here's the deal. All kidding aside is I'm picking a money line. I'm really trying to just, if I hit it, you can go ahead and start buying your ticket to Boise.
Yeah.
I'm taking a gamesman guess here. But all kidding aside, I've said from the beginning, if they lose one, in my opinion, that's a tough trip. I think this is one of the two now with Tennessee that they can lose on the road. I like what you've said. I think Tennessee, as the year goes on, seem to be that bet.
Yep.
Look, I don't know, man. Alabama's struggling on the perimeter. JoJo Earl, if he comes back, that will give him some help. But I understand what Arkansas weaknesses, what they are, and that's in the back end. But can Alabama attack that?
Right. They don't. That's not Alabama's strength right now. I mean, Bryce Young's kind of willed them to some games. To the Texas game, but they didn't score a lot of points at Texas.
And I do this.
Here's what's interesting with Arkansas, actually. Seriously, all jokes aside, all Arkansas stuff aside, what is interesting with them is because there's a good and a bad when a team is as upset as that one was. The bad is that I got to get them back. The good is they care.
I will say this for fans, and I know that's a big narrative after a loss. The kids are truly like the most resilient people. I mean, coaches are the one that have a tough time getting over it.
Yeah.
And as adults, you have a tough time getting over it because you know that's a loss or whatever it is, and that goes. You're worried about getting fired and all this stuff.
Their kids were still really down on Monday.
But that tells you something. That tells you something, though. That tells you that they care.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Last year's game was 42-35 in Tuscaloosa. They got the same guys. They know they can play with them. I'm not alone on this, by the way. I got some coaches that I've talked to that don't hate that. So I'm not alone. Like
Daniel Cotto says, you mean 8-12 SEC record? Yes, sir, Sam Pittman. Here's the thing: be careful with stuff like that because he inherited a 2011 Ole Miss. He inherited that disaster. Yeah, what Sam Pittman's done, listen, and you guys can do the Arkansas thing to me all you want. What Sam Pittman has done at Arkansas so far is very similar to what Hugh Freeze did at Ole Miss the first 2 or 3 years. It is very similar.
Yeah,
he inherited. He had to not only change the culture, which was a disaster. They went 2-10 under Morris and the interim leading into
like a year.
And he had to go recruit. Arkansas did the crazy thing. They went Bielema to Morris. You can't change offensive styles anymore.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then they went to Pittman and said, hey, figure it out. And he brought in Kendall Briles, and they're trying to he's done a much better job than 8-12. The number. I get you are what your numbers say you are, but no, they've done more than that.
He went 9-3 last year. Is that right?
He went 9-4 last year. They won the what bowl they win?
I don't know.
The Outback.
Yeah. So what's the guy? He's what 4-1, 3-1 this year. And this is how, all kidding aside, and just so you know how I've been doing it, and I'm going to ride it until it bucks me. When you start getting into conference play, you're not a it's not your fault who you play. You have to play the schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what I usually do is I say, okay, how did you play against your best competition? That's what I do. And then that's kind of how these early conference games, that's how I kind of pick them.
Yeah.
And not say, and I'm picking this money line because one is plus 600, and it would be freaking great if it hit because I would go ahead and buy your ticket.
I'd have to start taking Missouri money lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can. I'm taking a little because I have a lead. I have something I can play with a little bit right here. But all kidding aside, I do think the game's going to be closer than a lot of people think. Alabama's best competition is against Texas.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, well, Arkansas, up front, I don't think Arkansas can hold up against Alabama. Texas played 3 true freshmen against Alabama up front, and they were very non-existent in the game.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere, I'm trying to tell you, it's tough to play in. But if you see how Alabama, their best competition was Texas. Well, Arkansas is battle tested. You can go. Same thing with, like, if you look at the Ole Miss Kentucky game, you can't hate on it. It's not their fault what schedule they played, but the best competition they've played so far is Tulsa. Mm-hmm. And that's what you see. And then you see Kentucky's best competition they played was Florida.
Yeah.
Kentucky did not play great in any of the other games. They just played
Yeah.
But against Florida, when it was time to show up, they showed up and they're gritty, and that's why I think it's going to be a close game.
I do too. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I really do. I think it's going to be a great game.
And so from this standpoint, well, Alabama's going to throw it all over Arkansas secondary. I mean, but they haven't shown the ability to do that versus anyone.
Right.
And I don't know, man. It's my gut feeling. I'm going to play it for fun. And literally no one on this podcast is going to play this pick because they think I'm absolutely crazy.
Well, I will say this: if it happens, my wife will go from being pissed at me for having to go to Boise to at least finding a silver lining.
Yeah. This will be.
She would be
plus
pretty pumped.
600. That'd be plus 6 units. That'd be a big jump.
Yeah, it'd be a little trouble for your boy here.
That'd be a big jump.
All right, we're going to wrap it there. An hour and 20 minutes of fun with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We did. Thanks to all of you in the stream. We will be back on Monday with another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Don't forget, get your Rain. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. We'll recap the weekend that was. It's going to be a big one. We'll recap the weekend that was. We'll talk about the NFL. We'll talk about whatever stories come up. Maybe some coach gets fired. Who knows? Again, our thanks to AJ McCarron for his time earlier on the show. So for Tyler, I'm Neal. Until next time, you guys have a great weekend. Take care.